I didn't check anything because I don't have any other pain. So on that one, because I don't have any other pains. I don't have any arthritis or anything like that.
So how long did you have double vision?
I would say it's probably about 1.5 years now, and it's just about 1.5 years. At first, I didn't do anything about it. I would wear my contact lenses, and like I said, at first it was only when I was driving, and so I would go throughout my whole day and I wasn't seeing any double, and then when I was driving home, I would have to close an eye.
All of a sudden?
Yeah, and then it just kept getting
which
worse.
Eye were you?
I would switch.
Okay.
I would switch.
Okay.
You know, I think if I had to guess, I would probably. If I had to guess, I would probably close my left eye more.
Okay.
You know, but I don't do that anymore because about 8 months ago, I went to the ophthalmologist and they said, "Oh, we'll put a prism in," and now I don't see double when I have my glasses.
Okay, I want you to set them up.
Okay.
So that we can see progress. So during treatment, if you notice there is a difference in vision, please let me know right away.
Okay.
You can start me talking.
Okay.
Why do you sleep 6 hours only?
You know, I used to sleep very well, and now if I fall asleep, I often wake up in the middle of the night, and sometimes I'm up for 2-3 hours. Like for instance, last night I fell asleep, woke up at 1:30 in the morning, probably didn't go back to bed till 3:30.
What did you wake up?
I don't know. I've been, I just wake up and then I stupidly, I'll grab my phone. Like, I know I shouldn't have my, stupid. If I wake up and I don't grab my phone, then I probably would go back to bed.
Right.
But I start grabbing my phone or something. Yeah.
But it is not due to your bladder.
No, not really, no.
Okay.
I mean, sometimes I'll get up and go to the bathroom, but it's not because I had to wake up and go to the bathroom.
So, the question here, do you get up at night to urinate? You put yes.
Oh, I do, but I don't have to. So maybe that's a no. You know what I mean? Like it's not because I have to, but I do. I mean, if I'm going to be up a couple hours in the middle of the night, usually I'll get up and, go, yeah.
So
but it's not a need. It's more just like
no.
Yeah, okay. That makes sense.
And when did you have a plantar fasciitis?
Well, it's been gone now for about a month, but I had it for a couple of months. And then before that, I had it maybe 8 months before. So I had it once before, and then I'll wear like those, the planners things, and then it went away, and I was like, oh God, it's never, like now it feels like it'll never come back, And then interestingly enough, I would say about December it came back.
Last December.
Yep, last December, and then it's been gone now for about, I'd say 3 to 4 weeks.
And you think magnesium had?
I think magnesium. It's funny. A friend of mine suggested magnesium, and that's the only thing I can think of that I changed. I started taking a magnesium pill, and it's like, wow, I think it really worked.
And was magnesium affecting your vision? You haven't noticed any?
No, I haven't noticed the magnesium helping my eyes or hurting them. So, but that's an interesting thing. I haven't noticed that one way or the other.
Firstly, I'd like to check your heart rate.
Okay.
And you can sit back, relax. Please don't talk and don't move. Ordinary healthy people's heart rate is 72. Higher number means more inflammation. 3, 2, 1. Okay. How is your digestive system?
I think it's pretty good.
Pretty good.
Yeah. Yeah. I I don't generally deal with constipation. I think I eat pretty well, and so I think I have a reasonably good metabolism still, because I eat quite a bit, and I don't gain a significant amount of weight, but I mean, so yeah, I think it's pretty good.
You've been athletic, I guess.
I don't know that I'd say I'm athletic. I don't know if I'd go that far, but I try to get a reasonable amount of exercise, but I've never been one to like kill myself in exercise. I'm more of a just kind of I don't like to cause pain. Like I have girlfriends that are like no pain, no they love feeling pain. I'm like no, I don't do pain. But I have a bike. I like to get on the bike and get my heart rate up, so I'm physical, but I wouldn't say an athlete, no.
So you don't have no pain whatsoever now?
I do, you know what? I don't have any pain.
Right.
No.
Very unusual.
Yeah, I know. And I don't want pain. You know what I mean? Like I don't want to lift until I have pain. You know what I mean? Like I don't want to, because like I said, I have girlfriends that run and then will say, my back hurts. And I'm like, why do you do this to yourself? Why are you doing it? And they say, I can't not. And I'm like, no, if I had pain, I would stop. Now, I will tell you that I tore my ACL in 2008. I tore it, I had it repaired, and it's never bothered me. Sometimes if I have to think, which one did I tear? Like, it's almost like 100%.
Okay.
But that was, you could see, I mean, that was years ago. And I just tore it when I was dancing. I was dancing and tore it.
When was it?
I was in Chicago, and I was at a concert, and I was dancing at a concert, and it was on a blanket, so it was like a weird, and I tore it, and it tore it.
When?
Oh, 2008. I'm sorry, I thought you said where.
I'm sorry.
That's okay.
10 years ago.
Yeah, it's a while.
Even though you haven't found the reason why you started to have double vision, there must be a reason. Nobody can find it out for you. You are the only person can find it. So when we talk, as time goes by, you may be able to remember what has caused the problem. Okay? So they are your eating, exercise, work, relationship with your husband, family, and friends. Everything matters. It's beyond your expectation or imagination. So that is kind of so-called root causes. Root cause. I'm going to have to be dealing with your result, which I call root problems, which are your organs, so that your organs become healthier. Your healthier organs will treat your double vision. And still, even though I'm going to be doing my best to make your responsible organs healthier as soon as possible, as quickly as possible, you need to do your own job to prevent to have another damage to your organs. You have your own job, and I do have my own job. Okay. Right? So it will take at least 1 hour to go through that. And then I'm going to be giving you a second set of meters. Okay. I want you to have kind of a baseline setup. So please look at the screen or something so that we can compare before and after. You don't have any allergy or something?
Just dog allergies, but that's it.
Oh, what happens?
I get sneezy, stuffy.
Okay.
And of course I have a dog.
Oh, no.
Can you believe it?
Okay, let's take care of that too. I want to experiment staying first. You have to check your vision individually, closing your right eye and then left eye.
If I close an eye,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, short of the fact that I still have the the vision,
Mm-hmm.
but if I close an eye, the double vision goes away 100%.
All the time, it's been that way.
100%. If I close an eye, I do not see double.
Oh, I see.
So the minute I close an eye, the double goes away.
Mm-hmm.
Now that it's open again,
Okay.
the double vision is back.
Mm-hmm.
And not so much if I look at you,
Mm-hmm.
and I try to figure out, like, as if I concentrate.
Mm-hmm.
So not when I look at you, it's not so double. But if I look over there by the TV screen, it's this statue that's
Mm-hmm.
double.
So you haven't noticed any difference yet.
You know what? I feel like in the beginning, yeah.
You should be getting closer.
You know what? It's funny because it almost feels, strangely enough, that it's
Getting closer.
It's actually not getting close. It's almost not getting close. It's like it's getting a little further apart.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. And not significantly, but they were a little closer together in the beginning. Now they're a little further apart. And like, interestingly enough, the one on the right is starting to fade a little bit, which is kind of weird. Does it make sense? It's fading a little bit. It's not as it's like you can. I never really paid attention to this before, but it looks like the one on the right is like a shadow to the one on the left.
Mm-hmm.
Versus, I think in the past it looked like they were two, double. Now it's just looking like the one on the right is like a little bit of almost like just a shadow of it.
Mm-hmm. Well, even though we don't have double vision, still there is a master eye and follower eye. Simply, that is the indication of your liver damage.
Is that right?
Mm-hmm. You may still have been suffering hangover from drinking.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. Because drinking alcoholic beverage will damage your liver, or there could have been something happened so that you're upset or mad at something.
Okay, now this is gonna freak you. Well, maybe it won't freak. Literally, the one on the right that's the shadow is almost. It's very bizarre, but it's almost like disappearing.
Okay.
It's like kind of disappearing.
Told you.
It's a little freaky.
And slave.
Yeah, the one on the right, it's almost like it's like fades out, it disappears, and then it comes back. But it's very, very faint. Wow.
Told you.
That's interesting. So you say this? You think this is like a liver thing?
Yeah, absolutely.
Interesting.
That's the reason why I sent you an email. So have to look at it.
Wow.
All same thing.
Interesting. I never think of myself as a
Master and slave.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's been a little bit over 5 minutes.
And yeah, I mean, it's not getting closer, but it just kind of it's like disappears, which is very. I'm telling you, that's a little bizarre. Wow. So this I've never had acupuncture done before, but I mean, this literally, it can positively affect your liver? Like whatever?
Yep.
Wow.
This is the only acupuncture in the world. You're lucky.
Wow. So, that's interesting. So when I've gotten tests or anything, nobody's ever told me I had a liver problem.
Of course, they cannot.
You know what I mean?
They can't.
Is that right? So now it disappears for like a longer period of time.
Yeah.
Yep.
That much your liver is healthier now. That quick.
Wow. Wow.
Mm-hmm.
And now, okay, so now it's almost like, oof. It's really weird because it's definitely making a difference because I'm wow.
So if you put those glasses back on.
See, now that's my concern. So now I have these glasses.
Yeah, try that now.
I wonder if that's.
You're,
I've often thought about. Yeah, it almost feels a little too strong. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But that's why I actually brought my contact lenses.
Okay, good.
Because my contact lenses obviously don't have prisms in them.
Good.
But yeah, literally,
Mm-hmm.
now the two are like right on top of each other. You know what I mean? Like it's
been.
Oh, I have that. Forgot I have that in there.
It's okay. It's been 7 minutes.
You're gonna tell me I need to stop drinking? I'm like, oh, like that. Whoops. I mean, I'm not like a huge drinker, but I do like wine. You know, it's interesting. It's funny you think people you only think that people that are like alcoholics and stuff are like having liver. You know what I mean? Like it's obviously ruin your liver.
It's just not drinking. There can be a lot of reasons.
Oh, is that right? Okay.
So, like 18 months ago, you need to remember what happened to you.
Well, you know, I do know. I mean, I started a new job, which I've since quit.
Mm-hmm.
I started a job and it was very demanding. I mean, it was a very demanding job. Downtown, I was driving an hour to get to work, hour and a half to get home I mean, it was a very demanding. And I finally did resign because it just wasn't, you know, and it was during that, you know, it's funny. It's interesting because I hadn't done that kind of work for about 10 years,
Mm-hmm.
and I went back into it, and it was definitely very stressful,
Mm-hmm.
and it was almost like the day I started, and I started that job in end of 2014, so it was a while ago,
Mm-hmm.
but it was almost like when I started.
Mm-hmm.
I immediately started because I didn't beforehand, but I had to buy reading glasses.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just boom. Like I never used reading glasses. And I was in that job, and about a month into it, I was like, I need reading glasses. And so I was using reading glasses, and then all of a sudden you know, about 6 months to a year into it, I started to see the double vision. And it was when I was driving to work and driving home that I was seeing that I was going like this, that I was seeing double.
Okay.
So I can't. That's one thing I can think of.
How was sleeping then? Drinking or food?
You know what? If I was going to be honest, my husband doesn't drink at all, any alcohol.
Oh.
He just doesn't like it. He just doesn't drink. But I would say because I was stressed, I was coming home and. You know, coming home and I'd walk in the door and pour me a glass of wine, and you know what I mean. So there's no question about that. That you know, because it was like kind of a habit of like I'm walking in the door, I'm having a glass of wine. You know, it doesn't matter if it's Tuesday night or Wednesday night. And then I did gain. I have since lost a little, but I did gain a lot of weight. I easily gained. I probably easily gained 25, 30 pounds, which is a lot, you know what I mean, during the course of the time that I was there. And I wasn't really getting any exercise. So yeah, it was, you know, it was a very, from a demanding stress, definitely.
Right. So how is your vision now?
Well, now it's the stat, they're very close together. You know what I mean? Like it's much closer.
Okay. Still not one.
No, not 100% one. No.
Okay.
Yeah, it's funny because I've often thought these things now are probably making, because you know, if I'm wearing these all the time now, whereas originally I didn't need it all the time. You know, I was just in the beginning, it was just driving home.
So, how about now?
It's, you know, it's just, if they're like, whereas it was like this, now it's closer.
Okay. Do you have a book in your
house? Book?
Can you read to see the difference?
You know what? It's close up. I don't see double, so I can read.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, so I can easily when I see, I can read.
Further up.
Well, I can't read. I just in general, my eye. It's not a double thing. Like it's not double.
Well,
it's not double, but my eyesight isn't good enough to read it. Does that make sense?
Well, actually, this treatment will help your eyesight too.
Is that right? Wow. Well, I can read it this far, but I don't remember what I used to be like because I never really paid attention. But you know, that was Ben. Ben was Lori's brother. He talked a lot. It had been confusing, so I can read it. Now it didn't bother chat. You know, generally when I read, I'll take my glasses off because I'm nearsighted. You know, I will say, and this is something now that you're asking, because I used to watch TV, and you know what? Now I don't watch TV. I watch Netflix, and anything I'm going to do, or if I wake up at 1 a.m. tomorrow, I watch it all on an iPad or my phone, and I think that may not help either because it's right there.
Right.
So I thought about that. That's probably something I've done in the last 18 months to it. You know what I mean? That now it used to be you'd sit in your living room, or family room, and you'd watch TV. Now we all, my husband, my daughter, and I, we all sit in in a bed or whatever, and we watch it this close, and that's probably not so good.
No. Our DNA resembles our body. And since we live in the universe, our body resembles the universe. Thousands of years ago, somehow they discovered that the universe consists of yin yang and 5 elements. The yin yang is relative relationship of cold, hot, dark, bright, that kind of stuff. The 5 elements are from water, you get wood, from wood you get fire, from fire you get earth, from earth you get metal, and metal to water. So our body is supposed to consist of yin yang and 5 elements too, which each element means each one of our organs. So, for example, kidney is inside of water, and bladder is yang side of water. So each element has yin and yang organs, so it makes 10 different organs. And there are 2 additional organs which are imaginary organs, but we still have those imaginary organs. And scientists may think this is baloney. But just because they don't understand this theory does not mean it's wrong or inaccurate. Current science has not advanced enough to understand. That's simply what it is. Like UFO, current science cannot even go close to that. Anyway, each organ has its own 2 sets of acupuncture points, symmetrical, yes, which are symmetrical, and meridians. Meridians are lines connecting acupuncture points and acupuncture points. So this is for your stomach. It starts from here, like this, like this. So for example, TMJ, jaw pain, or it can even affect your vision too, because it's very close to your eyeball. Okay? And facial paralysis, or Bell's palsy, toothache, gum disease, that's all simply stomach condition. Breast cancer, that is a stomach condition. Your injury on your left knee was hurting your stomach, because it's not one-way communication. They're all talking each other. So knee arthritis on knee, is usually due to unhealthy stomach too. So for other conditions you had was kidney, which is plantar fasciitis. It starts from bottom of your foot, okay? Goes up like this, and it is connected to your spine, like this, backside of your body. So the plantar fasciitis is simply the indication of unhealthy kidney and or bladder.
Interesting. Okay.
So even though magnesium, you're lucky enough to get the benefit of it, still it was not the sufficient enough to help you. So even though you stop magnesium, you're not supposed to have plantar fasciitis back again. Okay? And kidney's husband is bladder. So it goes up like this from here, goes all the way down. Neck pain, upper back pain, mid back pain, low back pain, hamstring, and like this here. Okay?
Can't see anything there now.
Okay. Oh, okay. Never mind.
I could before, but now I can't see anything.
Oh. Okay.
I mean, I can see it,
Okay.
but yeah.
The fact that you could see and not you cannot now means the treatment I gave you earlier, like 11 minutes, it made your liver healthier. And since I stopped doing it, your liver went back to previous condition. So the longer you get treatment, the effect will last longer and longer and longer. The effect you're going to get will take less, a shorter period of time to treat you. This is your liver. Liver has branch meridian passing through your eyeball. So liver is kind of main organ responsible for eyeball and vision. And liver's additional functions are, you need to remember this: muscle, sinus, vision, eyeball, anger, and reproductive organ. So fibromyalgia, Lou Gehrig, Alzheimer, Parkinson, the ovarian cyst or ovarian cancer, double vision or weak vision, lot of things are just a simple indication of a liver damage. That's all what it is. In the 1940s, there was a chemical engineer invented a chemical to chelate pipeline. You know what chelate means?
Mm-hmm.
So it is supposed to suck up all iron from the wall of a pipeline,
Mm-hmm.
like iron or magnesium or that kind of stuff. Monsanto, which is a very big chemical company, they converted the purpose of the chelator to herbicide. So what it does is, when it sprays the Roundup, you know what Roundup is? The main ingredient of Roundup is the glyphosate. And when they spray glyphosate to the plant, there are two activities happening. It will be absorbed through to the plant, and because it disables the enzyme to make protein, the plant has to die. At the same time, it will suck up all the minerals from the soil and the plant, so that the plant cannot grow. So Roundup was began to be used nationwide for taking care of lawns, okay? And the market was not big enough. And somehow they had glyphosate tank leaks, and that glyphosate is so toxic poison that it is supposed to be able to kill all living organisms, okay? And bacteria, fungi, and virus. The most toxic poison, okay, like dioxin, something like that. Well, even dioxin is Monsanto's product. So everything they have made has been harming human beings, many times. And somehow they found bacteria still grows in glyphosate. Superbacteria, right? So they extract the DNA from that bacteria and put them in the crop. That is GMO. So there are two types of GMOs. Like when you, in the summer you see seedless watermelons. They're not chemically engineered. But this GMO is totally different. They are genetically, chemically engineered organisms. So that even though they are growing in the glyphosate, they just don't die. So in other words, they are monster organisms. In other words, they don't have any minerals in them, right? And they don't have enzymes in it. Well, they have modified enzymes. So that enzyme is totally different than ordinary or natural enzyme, which has to be toxic. So even though they don't pour the glyphosate or Roundup, the GMO alone is toxic poison.
Got it.
Okay?
Yep.
So when you go, well, on my blog, that is, here's the link. Go to their website, they say insect protection. So those crops are. In other words, what they're trying to say is when insects eat them, they get killed. That's the reason why they have less damage from insects. So they did a beautiful massage on the language so that it can be heard still safe. But it is to fool the people. Okay?
Yeah.
So, the purpose of the invention was to eliminate all the labor to deal with the weeds and less damage from insects.
Mm-hmm.
Now, obviously, they will have to spray lots of Roundup, and then they still don't want to see any insects, so they still have to spray insecticide to kill grasshoppers and that kind of stuff. So that's the reason why you don't get to see bees. Every once in a while you hear the news that
Mm-hmm.
bees gone.
Right, right.
Because thanks to Monsanto.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? And they don't want to see any rabbits, mice, hogs can harm their farm. So they will have to spray what? Pesticides.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So can you afford to eat the GMO?
Doesn't sound like it.
Okay. Now, that GMO alone has 5 scary characteristics. Again, GMO itself is poisonous. Roundup is poisonous, right?
Right.
Insecticide is poisonous, and pesticide is poisonous. And last thing is lack of nutrition. No vitamin, no minerals.
Mm-hmm.
So all the labels on the nutrition table on those crops were done like 50 years ago.
When they actually had the minerals and the
Mm-hmm.
in it. I get
Not anymore.
Got it.
So FDA was trying to do research again to correct or reflect the
Mhm.
changes. It was supposed to be done by end of last year or 2 years ago. But I don't know if it has been reflected or not. But the reflected one will make the people shocked
Mm-hmm.
because there's no minerals in it anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So once they harvest it, they send them to the CAFO. CAFO is the acronym of Concentrated Animal Feeding Operations. And once they are sent to there, then they add the solvent to extract the oil out of it. So those vegetable oils you can find in grocery store and you can get to eat in restaurant. They're all containing GMO plus solvent in it.
Mm-hmm.
So the more you dine out, the worse your health is supposed to get, no matter what.
Interesting.
They never tell you that. No
Yeah.
doctors tell you that. They don't even know about it. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Now, those crops are not sent to the vegetable oil manufacturing plant, are sent to that CAFO. CAFO is Concentrated Animal Feeding Operations.
Mm-hmm.
So if those animals, like chicken, turkey, those poultries, and lambs, goats, pigs, cows, even fish, Atlantic salmon,
Mm-hmm.
or tilapia, if they can play around and move around, guess what? They lose weight, which is money to them.
Right.
So
Right.
they all have to be fat and obesity.
Yeah.
So obesity alone, what? That has to make them sick.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And those feed, 90% of that feed is from corn.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but that alone can cause a lot of problem. our cell has a membrane consists of omega-6 and omega-3. The ideal ratio is 2 to 1. 6 has to be 2, okay, based on omega-3. Okay, we need both omega-6 and omega-3. The ratio is very important, just like cholesterol. Okay, there is no good cholesterol or bad cholesterol. It's just the HDL and LDL. The ratio is more important. Actually, having higher cholesterol, it is good for you. Not good, but
I did learn that. I do know that. Yeah.
So corn has a ratio of like 46 to 1.
Wow.
Yeah. So when they keep eating all day long, their body will have to concentrate omega-6. So their meat, milk, butter, cheese, there are like 200 to 1. That alone will damage our body. I'm not just talking about nutrition and those toxic, okay? So that kind of a thing is so sophisticatedly and systematically organized crime. And FDA doesn't do anything. USDA doesn't do anything. EPA doesn't do anything because they are too big to deal with.
So if I'm giving my kid a glass of milk every morning,
you are trying to kill her.
Yeah. And it's not even organic.
Even organic, it is not good.
Right.
Nowadays.
Well, no, because that's a different issue. It's still the same omega-6, you know what I mean? I see what you're saying. Yeah.
So those animals in K4 are all supposed to be sick. Okay? So they will have to use a lot of antibiotics so that they don't collapse before they get slaughtered. So some people say 80% of antibiotics made in US is consumed by those animals. Okay? They also, actually Monsanto made the new product, recent product was bovine growth hormone.
Yeah, I've heard of that.
Which is a chemical, okay, to make them grow faster. And there were a lot of talking, so I guess they stopped using it. But now when you watch TV, there's ads saying about milk. We don't use artificial growth hormone. They're lying to you. They're deceiving. That means they're still using natural growth hormone. Right?
Okay.
They love to deceive people.
Right. So they can say they're not using artificial, but they're still using natural, and that's not good either, I'm sure.
No. If it is too much, it is supposed to damage very, very seriously. And they think people are stupid enough not to be able to understand what they're trying to hide. So that alone, you need to change your food.
I'm like literally in my head, like my afternoon needs to be throwing stuff out because my house is full of it. Yeah.
You need to. And Monsanto has 65 different food companies, including Coca-Cola, Pepsi-Cola, and all, beyond your imagination.
Wow.
So you need to have kind of a print out those manufacturers. So when you go grocery store, you need to avoid. But eventually, unless you stop GMO, you will end up getting one or two of them. That's how the system is designed. Okay? So first thing is you need to stop everything. So even though they're organic, you're not supposed to eat anything from cows, lambs, and goats, even though they are fully naturally grown, because they are good to raise the temperature of your organs.
Okay.
In other words, you will make worsen inflammation. You need to sleep very well. Everything what you do, you cannot do if you cannot use muscle. Like Lou Gehrig, the muscle shrinking, weakness, you cannot do anything. You cannot even breathe, and then at the end, you get to die. So even eating, you will have thousands of different muscles to eat. To bring the food to your mouth, opening your mouth, and chewing and swallowing and digesting. Everything has to use the muscle. It always goes back to what? Your liver. The reason why you're allergic to your dog is because your liver is not healthy.
Interesting. Okay.
And also, of course, your lungs are not healthy either. So you need to consume lots of omega-3 because your body, you've been eating lots of GMO stuff, beef and steaks, that kind of stuff. So you've been eating like 200 to 1. Now your body can be like 100 to 1 easy. So you need to add a lot of omega-3 into your body to make it balanced to 2 to 1.
Okay.
Right? So there are 3 crops you need to eat. You can put together. Is flaxseed. It has a ratio of 0.26 to 1.
Okay.
And chia seed is like 1 point something to 1. And hemp seed is 2 to 1. And hemp and cannabis and marijuana are pretty much the same or same plant. Did you know that?
Yeah.
Okay.
For the most part, yeah.
Okay. So hemp seed is supposed to be with a medicinal benefit. So please start to take them all.
Okay. It's funny, I have all of those.
Good.
I just don't use my bottom line. I have hemp, I have chia, and I have flax seeds in my cabinet, but I just have to, I don't always take them.
But also, many people must have told you that you need to eat lots of nuts, right?
Yeah, I always think that that's a good thing, yeah. But it's not, right?
No.
Yeah, I didn't. Yeah.
So when you look at the omega-6 to 3 ratio, which one was it? The peanut has a 5,500 to 1.
Wow. So if I'm making my kid a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, it isn't good for her.
Well, unless you put like 1,000 times or 5,000 times of
omega-3.
Yeah, flax seeds.
Right. Which that's not,
yeah. It's not.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
okay.
It's not peanut butter cream, but flaxseed butter cream.
Wow.
Instant, right?
Yeah.
That much. Okay.
Yeah.
So you don't want to touch. Almond has like 2,000 to 1.
Okay, so almond's still alive.
Yeah, 2,000
Yeah.
to 1.
Okay. Wow.
Okay? So in nuts, walnut is the only thing 2 to 1.
Interesting. I didn't
and
realize that.
Second higher or lesser one is pecan, which is still 21 to 1.
Oh wow.
Still.
Wow.
Walnut is the only nut you want to touch.
Okay. It's good to know. Okay.
Okay. And I forgot to say was there are a lot of different fields in conventional medicine. The least advanced medical fields are about eyes
Interesting.
and kidneys. That's my understanding. They know nothing. If there is a problem with kidney, what can they do? Dialysis?
I was just gonna say they put you on dialysis.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And transplantation. There are only 2 things they can do.
Right.
Nothing.
Right. That's not a lot. That's not good.
No.
Those are not good options.
Yeah, like for your vision.
Yeah. I know. I'm like, they just like, okay, like I'm gonna just spend the rest of my life like this, and I'm like, yeah. But you know, I will go and clear out and try and never thought for a second that it could be that, you know, if I was taking better, you know, getting rid of the GMOs, that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So I will work on that right away.
Yeah. How's your vision?
It very close together right now. Of course, now I'll put my glasses back on, and that won't be good. But maybe I'll put my contacts in, because then it won't force my eyes. Because you know those prisms force your eyes to see. Then
once Hippocrates said that let thy food be thy medicine, right?
Yeah.
But unfortunately, what it told is not perfect. Actually, food can be medicine, at the same time, poison.
Mm.
Check it out.
I mean, it's interesting because it's more than just a double vision. My vision looks better. Does that make sense?
I told you.
I know. I think that's wild. That's weird to me. I mean, as I'm sitting here, I'm hungry, but I definitely feel like there's a lot, you know what I mean? Like there's a lot of, it's almost like a cleansing. Does that make sense? It feels like.
They're waking up.
Yeah, it feels like that. I feel like my whole, yeah.
So this is the best medicine in the world. Nobody can beat me. That's my problem. Yeah. Doctors are jealous. Acupuncturists are jealous.
How long have you been doing this?
I learned this acupuncture from my father in 2003.
Oh, is that right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
And from 2004, I started to teach.
Okay. Oh, okay. So you teach
Mm-hmm.
too.
You can learn acupuncture in a week.
Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
Wow, I did not know that.
Mm-hmm.
You always think of it as something you have to,
20 years.
Centuries, or you know what I mean, yeah. I mean, it's obviously forever. You know, it's a very ancient way to take care of people, but I never would have thought you could learn it quickly.
You already have learned a lot.
I know. Yes, I agree.
Even in an hour.
I feel that. Thank you. I can't believe I've never had acupuncture before. I've just never, because I never have had any pain.
Mm-hmm.
So I always just assume, I've had massages, but I've never, see, I can feel it there. But I've never, I just never, until it's not just for back pain, it's, But I have had massages where when people are doing reflexology or they'll say, oh, you're holding some, they'll either say you're holding something in your kidney, that they can tell through just kind of massage.
So how's your vision now?
Much clearer,
Mm-hmm.
much brighter. It's a much clearer. The vision is better actually too. I mean, the vision is the part that's the biggest noticeable.
Mm-hmm.
Very interesting. Very bright. It's brighter. And there's a clarity to the vision. Yeah.
So this much amazing self-healing power you had, not understanding what has been hurting you,
Mm-hmm.
you've been doing it just because of habit,
Mm-hmm.
or with the wrong knowledge, not because of your not smart, but
Mm-hmm.
because you've been told by those people with the good credentials
Right. And just blindly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But that's what most people do. They just assume the FDA, the EPA, the everything.
Mm-hmm. Even CDC,
Yeah.
NIH, they're all saying. One thing you need to know before you leave is the drinking water.
Mm-hmm.
How much water do you think you need to drink?
I don't know, a lot, right?
Okay.
A lot.
That's natural.
Yeah, just a lot.
In 1945, there was research how much water daily we need to drink.
Mm-hmm.
So the outcome was 64 to 80 ounces.
Okay.
Right? That report, at the end of it, it says all prepared foods, they already contain water in it.
Mm-hmm.
So, for example, roasted turkey has 69% of water.
Mm-hmm.
Boiled chicken has 71% of water. Grape has 82%. Cucumber, 99%. So why would you have to drink that much water? You need to drink that much water to make them richer.
Make them what?
Richer.
Okay. Interesting. So you don't think you have to drink as much water?
No, that's the fact.
Yeah. Right. And the other thing I do, which I shouldn't do, we didn't even talk about that, is I drink water out of plastic bottles.
Yeah.
I bet you I bet you argue that that's not good for you either, right?
It has to be kind of made of a glass or stainless steel, not aluminum.
Yeah. Oh, not aluminum, yeah.
So you can still drink water, but only when you feel thirsty. Only when. But even though you feel thirsty, it could have been caused by your habit of drinking.
Right.
Right.
And I do have a big, because I've been totally brainwashed that I'm constantly supposed to have water, and I drink.
So it will damage your liver, stomach, firstly, right?
Okay. I can see that because I drink a ton. I've always got Costco. I always have those big bottles. I have a big bottle in my car, but it's a bottle, and they sit in my car, and I'm always
damage your small intestine, kidney, bladder, liver.
I would think you could hurt yourself from, you know what I mean?
In 2011, 17% of U.S. GDP was from what? Medical industry. That year alone, $6,700 per capita was for medical industry defense. Now, last year, 2017, 20% of U.S. GDP was from medical industry. So, in the best case, and at the same time, worst case, depending on where you are, if everybody is healthy, then what happens? American economy collapses.
Yeah.
It's not just
I get that.
corporations.
Yep. Isn't that sad?
So, when I get to have a patients working for medical industry, we always argue.
I bet.
I don't care if I lose no patient. They just cannot give up their ego. Unfortunately, they need more illusion. Medical science is not science, it is superstition.
Well, it's interesting because when I even with my my OBGYN, because I still get my period, and I said, oh, I'm getting, I'm so sick of getting my period, like I'm a teenager, I still have a heavy period. She wrote me a prescription
for some like blood clotting thing. And I thought, I just remember leaving and thinking, how is it going to know to just do my period? Why would I take, once a month I was supposed to take this pill just to, clot my blood. And I thought,
Please stop.
I just thought it was crazy.
Don't.
Oh, I don't. No, I never took it.
Good.
No, but because I couldn't wrap my head around that. I was like, how is it going to know to it just struck me as odd. I thought, no, it's going to clot my whole, I just thought that was so strange. And it was just,
Well,
here, take a prescription. Here's a prescription.
because that's how they were trained.
Right.
That's
Right.
all what it is.
Yeah.
Well, even though she was trying to help you,
Yeah.
I believe she was.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
Of course. But it's, it's just making the symptom go away. Just, not just making the symptom go away.
So,
I didn't end up doing it because I just was like, whatever.
as I told you earlier, liver is in charge of the reproductive organ. So,
Mhm.
this
So that
treatment
must have been-
will take care of the problem at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? How's your vision now?
I'm very close there. I mean, very close. Not 100%, but very close.
Okay.
I also feel a lot less stressed.
Mhm.
Like when I was in the beginning, I said I don't have a paper, but I was feeling a little like stressed about it,
Mhm.
and now it's definitely not.
You can even feel tired
Mhm.
with this treatment.
Okay.
Actually, you are not tired. You are more refreshed.
Mm-hmm.
And this treatment is losing all the muscles on your body. So no tensions will be existing.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the reason why you may feel tired, but
Okay.
you're not.
Yeah, I'm yeah. Which I should be because I didn't sleep well last night. But I'm not.
Also, I want you to stop all exercise,
Okay.
because when you do exercise, you will ask your liver to work harder.
Oh, okay.
Right?
All right.
So, but walking is very good for you.
Okay.
So, the longer the better.
Okay. Longer the better?
Mm-hmm. I mean, time-wise.
Yeah.
Okay. So, but in the middle, you're not supposed to stop.
Okay.
Keep walking, at least 30 minutes, non-stop walking.
Okay.
Would you like to see your vision? Check your vision with the reading book?
Sure. Thank you. I can definitely.
Father,
As far as in go. That's as far as it goes, and I can read it. You very enjoy yourself. Miss Taylor looked up. She wasn't talking to him. She was talking to which is good because I'm normally, my eyesight's very, like, generally
mm-hmm.
it's very bad.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm like -8.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
So,
I've always had, it's funny because as far as the bladder goes, I'm one of those people that just, when you think about I've always been one that, when I was pregnant and everything, they're always like, oh, you have such a full bladder. I always have, and that's probably a lot of that water. I'm always drinking water, and there's, I remember them always being like, your bladder is so full, you're just, and anytime I've had it, I've ever had like a physical exam, like, for OBGYN or something, it's always like, God, your bladder. So I definitely oftentimes have a very full bladder and stuff, so kind of funny that.
year 2013, in Switzerland, they have abolished mammogram.
Wow. Just why? Because of the radiation, or?
it can cause breast cancer.
That's crazy. And now they want us to do it every year here. In fact, I just got a thing in the mail that said, because, you know, just like all the other women, I've been doing it every year because that's what they recommend. And I just got in the mail and I'm like, God,
You will not prevent.
should I do it again?
You
No,
will
it's-
not prevent.
Yeah.
And it can cause damage. Physically.
Yeah.
And with the radiation.
Wow. Wow, so they
And
they
it's
literally
not-
just said no more in Switzerland?
Mhm.
Wow.
And also, the accuracy of that mammogram is not that great either. Pink ribbon is simply a scam. That's all for money.
And it is. And there's it. That's a big business, huh?
Mhm.
Big business.
It's all about money. They are promoting Monsanto.
The pink ribbon people?
Mm-hmm.
How's that? What does Monsanto? I'm just curious. What does Monsanto have to do with? What's the connection?
I don't know. Monsanto is sponsoring Pink Ribbon. And
They got it on all their products and stuff. And,
Kentucky Fried Chicken is a promoting them.
yeah.
And yeah.
and Kentucky Fried Chicken's in vegetable oil and stuff, right? I mean,
Well, they should be using GMO.
Yeah.
Vegetable oil to cook.
because they're not going to.
All the
They're
chickens are from Capo.
Yeah.
Supposedly.
So
Yeah.
are you a vegetarian or are you?
I'm not.
Do you?
I eat pork only.
Oh, you will eat pork.
Mm-hmm.
How do you get pork that's non-GMO? Do you eat organic? Do you eat?
No, I just eat any pork.
Oh, is that right? What makes you not worry about pork? Just out of curiosity.
Because the current science is that they don't understand the characteristic of a certain animal.
Okay.
Just looking at spectrum of their DNA or chemical composition of their cells, like iron, magnesium, manganese, or vitamin, or protein, cholesterol, hormone. It is just analysis, but it cannot define the characteristic of certain thing. So, like for example, beef and pork, do they have the same characteristics? No. How can they differentiate the characteristic of it? They can't.
Mm-hmm.
But our medicine has differentiated already thousands of years ago.
Mm.
So when you eat meat from cows, that is with the characteristics of pork, and it will worsen the inflammation. But pork has characteristics of water, so it will work as anti-inflammatory drug.
Interesting. Okay. Are you careful about nitrates and nitrites and things like bacon and stuff like that, or you know?
I should, but I still eat them.
Okay. But you're not as worried about as nitrates and nitrites as you are GMOs and things of that sort.
Right. As a vegan now.
You know, it's very clear, but it's not quite, but it's getting, you know what I mean, it's like closer. I mean, it's funny, in the beginning, you were double, and now you're not double anymore.
Mm.
So, you know what I mean? Like, when we were first talking, you were double too, and now you're not double. So it's definitely, like, you know, the closer it's not double anymore. Just the stature's on, but still. No, I'm sorry, I get tired.
So you might have noticed that my acupuncture and my approach is way different than other guys.
Well, I've never had acupuncture before.
Well,
But certainly you're
comparing to
Yeah.
conventional medicine.
Oh, completely, completely.
Even the acupuncturists, they don't understand me.
Is that right?
They're
I wish I'd never been to another acupuncture, so I would.
mad at me.
Really? That's a good thing, right? That's
I
probably not
feel-
the worst thing.
I feel sorry for them.
Well, because they're not open and
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
like they've been trained just like the medical doctors.
it's like like a chiropractor sometimes. They're trained very oftentimes. Some are not, but some are trained. And I've never been to a chiropractor either. But I know that that some are more conventional and some are less. Can you do acupuncture on yourself or no?
Yeah.
Oh, you can?
This is the pretty much all acupuncture.
Oh, okay. So, but you can do it on yourself?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
Because if you would have gone to other acupuncturists, they would have used needles on your stomach area,
Oh, really?
or usually they love to use needles on your back.
Oh, okay. And you don't do that?
No.
Interesting.
Their acupuncture is totally experimental. This acupuncture point can show, let's say, 1 dozen different effects.
Mm-hmm.
Our body has 361 acupuncture points. Let's say each acupuncture can show 5 different effects. Then you have to memorize all of them. How many?
It's a lot.
Like 1,800.
Yeah.
Yeah? Or 1,800 different symptoms or conditions they need to memorize. That's a lot. How
That
can
is
you
a lot.
memorize? Yeah.
No, So does that mean you focus on the ones you can memorize and you can know about, or you know what I mean?
My acupuncture?
Yeah.
My acupuncture is totally different.
Yeah.
Totally different. We are fully based on yin yang and 5 elements theory. No experimental. We know what you're gonna get.
Got it.
Just a matter of how soon,
Oh.
how late, how long it's gonna last.
Versus they're just they're experimenting. They're just, oh, maybe this will be it. Maybe this will be it.
Actually, was it the day before yesterday? You made an appointment? It was, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
The moment I saw your appointment, I put a post on my Facebook.
Oh.
I'm excited to treat because I knew already how to treat you.
Yeah. Right. And you weren't just going to try to figure it out as you went, right?
Yeah, and the just question was how soon you're gonna see the improvement.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's just a matter of how many seconds or how many minutes. Nobody can do this. Nobody. No acupuncturist in the world can do this.
Is this the same type your dad did?
Yep. Has a vision.
Good. I want to put my contacts in because then that way I can.
Try.
Yes.
So you see only one?
Right now, it's not only one, but it's like really like super close. I don't know. Let me put my leg down, my thing down now.
Okay.
It's very close. It's like they're right next to each other now,
Mm-hmm.
touching each other. Whereas before it was literally like this. So if it's like this, now it was like this. It was like this, and now it's like this.
I'm going to give you this magnet. Okay. So that the treatment, the effect of this treatment can last longer, and if you're lucky, your vision can get improved every single minute.
Mm-hmm.
How about now?
It's still very close.
Any better?
It's better. Yep.
Then
Oh, I think it's about the same.
okay.
Yep. Yep. And that guy on the right is very faded. Yeah.
And I always ask my patients to see me as frequently as possible.
Mm-hmm.
because my job is to lose you as a patient ASAP.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
So tomorrow will be better for you.
Tomorrow already. Okay.
Okay.
If you have space, I definitely I'll come back tomorrow.
If you want, I can. Well, I'm kind of open 24/7.
Okay.
I have people driving from Detroit,
Oh,
New
wow.
York, Atlantic
Wow.
City, Ashburn.
hmm
Um,
My kid has a softball game in the morning, but then I can come after that.
It'll be giving you a good idea how powerful coconut oil can be. 30 minutes earlier before the game,
Okay.
give her 1 tablespoon.
Okay.
In the middle, in the break, give her another.
Okay.
After game, give her another.
Okay.
You will give her lots of energy.
Wow. Okay.
She should be able to run faster.
Oh, wow. Okay. All right.
And
I'll do that.
actually, she needs to get my treatment too because iron deficiency. There is something wrong with her digestive system.
All right. I will ask her. she doesn't like doctors at all. Like she's very, very afraid of doctors and dentists. So,
I
so
understand
the
that.
idea that, but I will ask her.
Okay.
I have to get my. I'm gonna put my contacts in.
Sure.
Because if I don't put my contacts in and I put the glasses back on,
Sure.
I'm afraid it'll just go. You know what I mean?